Hello, and welcome to Small Biz Real Talk, where we have real conversations with real entrepreneurs about their failures, successes, and everything in between. This is where we have conversations that inspire and give you insights about how to run your own business. My name is Brandon Eldridge, and I'm with the Colorado Small Business Development Center serving Pikes Peak. And I'm here with my friend AdelMarie Rivera with Bellona Financial Solutions. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Did I get all that right?
Yes, you
All
did.
right, let's go.
Nailed it.
So we're in your office here, and where exactly is your office at?
So we're at Citadel at 685 Citadel Drive East, right across from the Citadel Mall. We have been here for about 3 months or so.
Okay,
Just finally getting settled, having a ribbon cutting ceremony here shortly,
beautiful.
and we'll go from there.
I can literally see the Citadel Mall. You know, I worked in that place for 10 years, and I also worked at the Joe's Crab Shack. I don't know if many people know that, but so you're in my stomping grounds here. I even had my wisdom teeth pulled in this building many years ago. So I'm happy to see you in here. I'm happy to see your business thriving, and congratulations on getting over here. So
Thank you. I appreciate it.
yeah, you've been in business for a couple of years, so we have a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, good. Bellona Financial Solutions, are you a financial advisor? Tell us a little bit about what you do and what your business does.
So I am a financial advisor. I'm also an insurance agent and a little bit of that. I just registered with the Division of Insurance. So my agency is now, as of last week, registered as an agency. I started as a financial advisor with Mutual of Omaha.
Okay.
And I'm still with them. However, they allowed you to have your own business. I did not know
Beautiful.
that whenever I started this journey. I was kind of like, oh, I kind of not treating myself as an employee still. So
Yeah.
it took me some time to figure out like, oh, I am my own boss. I can do my own thing. I was like, holy moly. Okay, now I got to figure this out.
So you had to get into a mindset of being an entrepreneur, even though for a long time you probably were and you didn't realize it. But let's back that up a little bit. So tell me a little bit about your history. So where are you from? Where's your family from? Like, are you a Colorado Springs native? Tell us a little bit about you.
So I am originally from Puerto Rico.
Okay, Boricua.
Yes, 100%.
All right.
100% Boricua.
All right.
And then once I was done with high school, close to being done with high school, my best friend and me wanted to join the military.
Okay.
My mom kind of pulled the strings and she didn't let me. No way. She's like, that's not for girls. You're not doing it.
So you were ready to join the military, and your mom said, "No, we're not doing that."
Yeah, she said, "You're not doing that. You can't go in the military. That's for boys. No way you're doing it."
Okay.
My mom was one of those. She didn't let me do any sports or do anything crazy. I had some uncles that were around my age, and they were crazy. So I used to ride bikes and play sports. And whenever my mom will show up, she'll just hold me by the hair, by my ear, and take me away. So I was like, okay, mom. Then into my first year of college, I was like, nah,
you're ready. You're ready.
I had good grades and everything, but I was like, this is not for me. I want to go. And I used to see my dad's best friend was actually military. He used to come whenever he had the breaks or the leave is what we called it.
Sure.
He used to call me his uniform, and it was kind of like one of those like,
you had a calling. You really had a calling.
Yeah. So every
time 23 years in the Army, right?
Yes.
This is what. So like your mom, there was no stopping you.
Yes.
Your mom was not going to keep you from this, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think your calling was for the military? Why was that such a drive for you?
For once, I wanted to prove that it wasn't for girls, like my mom told me. I was one of those that I have always been, if someone tells me I can't do anything or something, I'm going to prove you that I can do it.
Yeah.
So I got that will. My mom told me I couldn't do it. I was like, I'm going to show you. It's not a girl's job.
Right.
And then I just had that call to go travel and go see the world and go do all the things that the military do. I was like, I was always like, kind of like, had the puppy eyes every time I saw the military stuff.
Sure. And you weren't just in the military. You were a drill sergeant.
Yes.
That's pretty awesome, man. Like, how does one become a drill sergeant, and why would you do that?
So I wish I could have said no. They pretty
Okay.
much like select you. So they look at the people in your rank and your gender and everything.
Yeah.
And the army selects the 10% of their army to be
Like of
drill
their
sergeant. So
vocation.
so they kind of like look at your record. They say, oh yeah, you're good. You're in the top 10% of the army. You can be
Okay.
a drill sergeant. And I was like, I'm at 10%. I was like, that's pretty impressive. I still don't want to do that. But they put you on orders. So it's something that they
Yeah.
mandate you to do. Like you cannot, like if you actually decline, they will put, it's called BARD on reenlistment. So that's your last contract. Like you just like
Got it.
won't be able to stay in the military if you
Right.
decline.
Well, we all know that being a drill sergeant is a hard job, but there's a reward to it, right? You get to pick where you're going after that. Is that the reward, or what's the reward?
So yes, supposedly you can pick whatever you go. My luck, they told me that they were overstrength on my military occupation when I got off we call it the trail. So when I completed my tour, I was like, I want to go to Colorado. They declined it. I ended up going to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Well, I actually asked for Fort Bragg. So it was like I had a couple of different choices. I was like, let's go to Fort Bragg. Because my other choice was Alaska and they wouldn't give it to me either.
Sure.
So I was like, that's what it is.
You chose Alaska?
I chose Alaska. They didn't give it to me.
But you actually signed up for Alaska?
Yeah, I asked for it.
You're wild, man. What are you?
It was Colorado or Alaska. The two places I wanted to go.
The mountains were calling, truly.
Yes, they were. And then from North Carolina, I actually went to Wheaton College. It's in Illinois. And I was actually an ROTC instructor. So I instructed for officers or students that go through the program and then they become officers.
Awesome.
And then when I got done with that assignment, they
finally gave you
Colorado.
Okay.
And it worked out perfect because I wanted to come to Colorado for the longest time. I saw a brochure one time that had the mountains and the flowers and the lake at the bottom of it. And I fell in love with it. And I was like, that's where I want to retire. Don't ask me why. It was just all based on one picture.
Did the postcard match what your expectations were?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We're not going anywhere.
She's not going anywhere, friends. She's a Coloradan now. So, I really like working with veteran entrepreneurs. As you may know, we do a big veterans conference every year. My dad was my dad was a drill sergeant also, which is how we ended up here too. But I like working with veterans because you're used to having what you would call an SOP, a standard operating procedure. Oh, yeah. So it's nice to be able to talk to somebody who understands that and relate that to something like a business plan, right? And so I like that there's a discipline that you get or achieve when you're in the military. And I know that carries forward. And so number one, thank you for your service and thank you for the time you spent. And I'm so glad you found here. But going from a drill sergeant to being a financial planner, there's a disconnect here for that, my friend. So how did you end up getting into Mutual of Omaha and actually getting all your license? And now you're running your own business. So give us a little snippet of how that came to fruition.
So I'll try to make it short. I was doing a internship on my time that I was retiring. It was with another branch. I actually failed one of my exams. I failed the Series 7 at that time. And I was going through the retirement processing and everything. And I had kind of a lot of stress or a lot of trying to figure out where I wanted to go, because that was actually not what I was trying to do. I was, my degrees are on criminal justice and paralegal, but on the program, there was no businesses that were like legal related. So I ended up matching with a financial planning, financial firm. That's the one that picked me. We kind of play match. I put them as number one and they put me as number one.
Got it.
And we ended up like, they were like, oh, you picked them first and they picked you as their first choice. So there you go.
Because you were an MP, right?
Yes, I was a military police.
You had paralegal experience. You were probably heading towards law, gravitating towards that. But somehow that didn't come to fruition. You are now in financial planning, right? Mm-hmm. So that pulled you away, which is okay. That, we don't always end up where we set out to go, right? How are you liking being a financial planner?
I love it. The thing that I love is seeing whenever I work with someone that they'll be like me back in the day, didn't have a clue of what they were doing with their finances. And I can always relate to my story. And I'll give you a little bit quick background. My late husband used to take care of all the finances. He passed away. I was super lost. I didn't know what to
Mm,
do. So a lot of times I find people that not in the same situation, but I can relate because they are not doing their finances, or they're following what their family tell them, or they're trying to like follow what
mhm.
they see online or whatever, and sitting down with them, putting a plan in place and showing them this is how you actually do it, and then figuring out whether they do stay with me for the long run or they
Sure.
just get educated and then they do it themselves. It's just kind of like an achievement to me. It relates to when I was a drill sergeant, when I took that person off the street that came to become a soldier, and didn't have a clue on how to be a soldier, and then you kind of mold them and you tell them like how things are done, and then they go on their own and they're successful. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it kind of relates to me.
My dad would describe boot camp as kind of breaking down the
Hmm.
person so that you could rebuild them and mold them. So you've had to go through that a few times in your life, it sounds like.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's admirable. I think it really speaks to why your logo is what it is. I think I saw a knight, a female knight with a shield. So talk to us a little bit about that.
It was actually one of your advisors from the SBDC. I went to one of your courses, the
Okay.
startup courses, and then I did some one on ones. I also went to the business accelerator that the Hispanic Chamber and the SBDC did.
Okay, good.
And it kind of put a purpose on what I was doing because I didn't have that structure. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have my
Ah,
finances. I call them divorce. I was using my personal money for the business and not
mm-hmm.
really calculating my ROI. I didn't know any of that. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a business owners, and that I was just making appointment,
Well,
meeting people, and that was it.
this is easy to do when you're contracting, though, too, right? It's
Yes,
easy to see yourself as an employee when you're an independent contractor.
yes.
So I love that coming to SBDC, meeting with some of our advisors, going through that Avanzar program, it allowed you to kind of connect the dots. Like, I'm a business owner. Like, I need to be running this separately. I actually really like the way you describe divorcing your personal finances from your business assets,
Hmm.
right? That's a really important tip for some of our budding
Oh,
entrepreneurs out
yeah,
here.
absolutely. So from that experience, then they kind of put a purpose on my business. And then that came, they also were like, well, what do you want your logo to look like? What do you want your business to look like? What do you want
Mm-hmm.
your finances to look like? And when we got to the logo part, I was like, oh, what do I want? I was like, I love butterflies. I started researching. I found out that the Luna butterfly was one that is on the Ecuador, which is like, well, Puerto Rico sits like right at the Ecuador line. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, oh, I love butterflies, the Ecuador. But then on the search of the Bellona butterfly images, I also came up to see that the goddess of war was called Bellona.
Your mom. I want to meet your mom now. The one who said, no, you're not joining the military. You know, you're not playing sports. And your logo for your business is a goddess of war.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
So I ended up mingling the two of them. As you see my logo, you'll see the image of that princess warrior, if you want to call it,
Sure.
or whatever. And then on the shield of it, it actually has the butterfly. So I ended up
Oh,
like kind
nice.
of mixing them both because you have to have that tenderness to like actually be compassionate and empathize with people when they come to you and they're in bad situations, but at the same time you gotta be stern and
Yeah.
all of that. So it was kind of like a perfect match to me.
Well, I like it too. There's a lot of financial institutions that use some sort of shield or protection as a way to kind of talk about their product. And so as a financial planner, it almost seems like you're safeguarding your client's assets to an extent. So
Yes,
you're a guardian for your client. I like that.
I am. I actually my tag names is legacy
So is this a call
legacy
sign?
crafter. That's what I made it.
A legacy grafter. What does that mean?
Crafter,
Oh,
crafter.
crafter.
Yeah.
A legacy
So I'm
crafter.
crafting their legacy. So I shield and
Oh,
craft their legacy. I'm
I
like
see.
building their legacy with them. Like It's not only about building for now or trying to like gain that wealth, but it's about like what do you do to actually put that foundation for your family if you're not there.
So you're a legacy crafter. I love that. And obviously that was born out of a lot of research and a lot of work you did on your business plan to get kind of your direction. And we haven't really touched on this too much yet, but you went through, I'm going to call it a evolution. You had to mature as a business owner with your mindset and where you were at. So talk to me a little bit about leaving the military, having somebody telling you what to do, and some of that freedom that you had for that first year as a business owner.
So it took me a year to figure out I was my own boss.
A whole year?
A whole year.
Oh my gosh.
I was kind of like used to like either like someone tells me what to do, and then I have my guys that I will go tell them, hey, this is the mission, this is how we're gonna do it, go do it. And then I will supervise a group. Then I find myself like just all on my own. And I was like, what do I do? Like, I was like, I gotta figure out like, where do I go? Like, what am I doing today? Make my own schedule, call people and get appointments. I was like, how do I do this? And then it was that difference of like you being an employee, you get told what to do. You get your salary. It took me a minute to figure out, hey, if I don't do this stuff myself, and I don't figure out who's my actual niche or who's my audience, my market, like I am just running around like a chicken with my head cut off because I was networking, I was doing a lot of things, but it took me close to that 1 year to actually do my research. I started like looking up, I was like, how do you run a business and whatever. And I ended up finding the SBDC, and that's the startup class was the very first business class that I took. So that kind of opened my eyes of like, I've been just doing things crazy. There's this thing close to an SOP that is called a business plan. That tells me how to do things for my business. So it kind of was a big eye opener of like, at this point now, I am putting my keys right there. And I know this is what I need to do every day. This is who I need to connect with. This is how much money I do have to spend. So that way I'm not pulling out of my own savings, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you went to Startup Day a year after you started, and you still found value in that. And I'm grateful for that. So thank you for investing some time into the work we do at SBDC, because that's what it's there for, right? So now you have a business plan and you're starting to grow into this mindset of, I have to manage my time that's intentional. I'm divorcing my finances from my personal finances, and you're growing a book of business at the same time. And so talk to me a little bit about the growth phase of your business now, because we're sitting in your office. It's a beautiful space. And I can imagine it's not been easy to get to this space. So talk a little bit about your growth phase.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like I said, at the beginning, I was all over the place. I was networking like crazy, and doing all kinds of things. Then I figure out I need to be intentional. That's the one thing. You need to make sure that whoever you're connecting with is someone that aligns with your goals, that they are connecting with you because they have kind of like the same goals that you do. Because a lot of times you just connect with a whole bunch of people, but it's not intentional. And now I call it a business card collector at the beginning, which is what many of us as entrepreneurs and like going into like, this is my business, start doing, because you want to connect with a lot of people.
And I think you kind of have to do that too. Everyone's got to live that business card collector life.
I was doing it like crazy. Then I took that a step back and I was like, I need to actually focus on seeing what is it that I need to do. So I started working on like, what is my marketing plan that I learned that from the course, and what is my target audience? Because I didn't have a target audience. When you first start a business, you're like, I want to work with everyone. I was like, well, this is who I want to work with now. So you start kind of fine tuning your plan. Omaha actually closed their office here in Colorado Springs. I ended up meeting Montserrat Macias through Selena Gomez. She had just had her baby, so she was kind of thinking of shutting her office, working from home because she wasn't going there. So we were like, why don't you just, instead of shutting the office, let's move into a smaller space. So she downgraded to a smaller space, but then we jumped in. So that way financially it made
Mm,
sense because my business wasn't in the right place to like me having a space. I was mostly working like meeting clients outside, or at that time I was like um doing Zooms or whatever. And I was like, well, I need an actual place. I cannot be talking to someone like going to a coffee shop and talking to your finances or whatever. So it kind of made sense. We kind of mingle and we ended up into an office that is probably about one fourth of the size of this one.
sure.
The three of us. The good thing is there was a conference room, so if we had a client, we could go to the conference
There you
room. So
go. Yeah.
so that was kind of like we kind of played the pieces.
Well, let's talk a little bit about those relationships. So you spent a lot of time networking, getting to know people in the community. And to me, that paid off because now you found your tribe. You found a group of
Hmm.
people that were like-minded and they're now helping you on your journey,
Sí,
right?
Selena Gomez. Sí, Selena Ortiz. Oh my God.
So see, it's okay. So you found your tribe and you found people that are on this journey with you now. So even though they may not be directly impacting your business, they are indirectly helping you, right? And I love that because I think what happens is entrepreneurs tend to do this thing alone a lot. But when you can start to find people that will complement your mission, now you're sharing costs and you're both, they're running their business while you're running your business in a space that you guys can now share. I
Hmm.
love that. So talk to me a little bit about how lonely it was before that and how you're building a community now.
So definitely was lonely before that because I didn't have like a set office. I did have a cubby in the bullpen over at Mutual Line. That's where, but
Okay.
there was only two of us that mostly went to the office
A
because everyone,
cubby.
yeah, like a cubby hole little place.
Okay.
There was only two of us that always went to the office. We do have more advisors, but since you're an entrepreneur yourself, like
Sure.
you didn't. So for the longest time, I was actually going into the office, and there was like days where like this huge office, it was just me sitting there, and I was like, I just want to go back to the army. Like this sucks.
Wow.
Like I actually like I was like, but I don't want to go back to the military. So going from there to like actually being in an office with someone else, like we started talking. We started like actually
Hmm.
connecting. So now we're kind of like family, like friends, family, because you end up like learning their story, like
Yeah.
how her business came up to flourish. And like now been in business for almost 6 years, me for 3 years. And it's kind of like, well, what challenges do you have? Like talking to someone that has been in business before, it kind of helps you too because he already had kind of like a structure. So I was like, oh, this is actually pretty neat.
Mm. I like this because it's not even just that you're now sharing resources, but you're helping each other be better entrepreneurs
Hmm.
too. I know that you mentioned the Hispanic Chamber before, and I believe you're on their board of directors. Is that right?
Yeah, so I'm on the board of directors. I'm actually the secretary for the executive committee for the Hispanic Chamber.
So you're with the Hispanic Chamber, you're on their board of directors. And you've talked a little bit about, understanding the market that you want to serve. Is the Hispanic Chamber one of those community entities that's helping you serve the community that you want for your clientele?
So yes, absolutely. That was one of the main reasons I actually went to the Hispanic. I didn't even know that there was a Hispanic chamber here. I ended up finding it, and then that kind of opened my eyes of this is the community that I should be serving for once
Mm,
because I can connect with them. I know the challenges, I know the
sure.
background, I can speak their language. A lot of time, a lot of our Hispanic community are kind of like shy or they kind of take back from
Hmm.
actually doing anything with their finances, or like they really don't want to do much because they don't trust the community or they have been taken advantage of. So me being able to make that personal connection, a lot of my clients will like call me and they talk to me about their kids or whatever because they can relate to me. And I kind
Yeah,
of like I keep it professional and I keep it like, hey, this is not, we're not friends or whatever, but it's great to be able to like
sure.
connect to your clients on a personal level because then you know their story. They're more open to tell you, these are my challenges. This is what I want to work with and that kind of thing.
Well, you're in an industry where you need to know what your clients want for their financial future. I
Mm.
mean, I'm guessing there's some sort of fiduciary responsibility you have as being a financial planner. And not only that, like I think there is some fear and misnomers about investments or portfolio, just for anyone, right? Like you need a translator just for that. And so then the fact that you can bring some of your skills that you have outside of just being a financial planner and your military background, but even just being relatable and having that language barrier and that be an issue for you. I love that for you. And I love that you found the marketing strategy that works for you and your business. So you're now in this beautiful office. We're over by the Citadel Mall, and things have really grown and you're really starting to get some traction with your business. What do you see for the next couple of years for Bellona Financial Solutions?
So I see me growing. Like right now, I just last week became a division of insurance, completely registered and licensed
Wow.
independent agency. So that was a huge
Congratulations.
milestone for me. Thank you. So in the next year, I want to bring some people in. I'm thinking maybe an admin and maybe another agent that can take some of the stuff that I do off my plate because I
Sure.
try to do it all. I'm actually licensed in all types of insurance. So from your pet to your business, I can do it all.
Wait, hold up.
If it has insurance,
Pets?
yes,
Oh my
even pet
gosh.
insurance. So like if it has insurance on the title, I can do it for you.
Okay.
But there's at a point where like there's so much education that I one of those I always have to learn what is changing.
Okay.
So I would say 4 days of the week I'm with clients and doing my thing, and then that fifth day of the week I'm always studying like
Yeah.
something new that has come out. Whether it's a product, whether it's like a new rule, everything. I try to keep on top of things, and it's getting overwhelming.
Yes.
So
Well, it's regulated and you have a lot of continued education in your world. And I think a lot of industries probably have regulations that they have to follow. The fact that yours is so heavily regulated and there's so much education you have to do, it sounds like even just carving out a day a week, if you had a team around you, that would help mitigate some of the client experience that you're trying to create for your team
mhm.
or for your clients rather. So that's great. I mean, it sounds like you're already starting to be forward thinking about what your team's going to look like. How would you distribute some of your workload? Have you kind of mapped it out and said, if I could, offload some work, this is what I would pass to this person. And if I could pass more work, it would go to this
So
person.
yes, I actually had kind of like a draft when I actually did my initial business plan,
Okay,
and
good.
now it's kind of fine tuned. So now it's like I want to concentrate on working on the financial side, maybe some life
Mm-hmm.
insurance stuff, but I want to like add other people that can do maybe the health insurance, maybe someone that can do the PNC, maybe someone for commercial. So those are three positions that I say are going to be the most. Maybe if I can get one that can do at least two of them from the beginning and then kind of, but that's my plan. It's on that roadmap that I
I
got.
could see you being a mentor to some young folks that like even a young Latina that wants to get into this world. I could see you being a great mentor. So I hope you consider that because I think you bring a lot of experience and being a past drill sergeant, you would know how to whip somebody in shape. That's for sure.
Oh, that's 100% for sure.
For sure. Well, listen, I'm so grateful that we had a chance to sit down. Before we totally wrap up, I have to ask about AI. How do you feel like AI is impacting your business? And are you leveraging any tools today to kind of do some of your work?
So I actually use AI into some of my work, like whenever I'm doing my marketing, whenever I'm
Yeah.
doing sometimes even an email. If I start drafting it and halfway through it, I'm like, this
Hmm.
sounds kind of odd. I kind of like try to review it with AI to make sure that it kind of like makes sense,
Sure.
and that kind of stuff. I think one challenge with the AI into my industry is that a lot of people say it is start like asking AI the questions. And of course, you're gonna get that generic question that is not tailored to you. And
Yes.
that's the difference between working with someone like me that will sit down with you, will get that personal story, will get like what exactly is it that you're trying to achieve. Like I dig down into your goals and also what are your challenges to get that goal in place. When you ask AI is going to give you an answer that
Yeah.
is giving everyone. My situation is not the same as yours. Like, and that's what people don't see. Like, they might ask their neighbor or their mom or AI, and they're
Hmm.
gonna tell you this is what I do, but do they have the same income, the same challenges, the same family structure? No, they don't.
Sure.
So listening sometimes is good advice, sometimes it might be bad advice. So
Well, and it's a challenging thing because you have a lot of sensitive information. So you're collecting
mhm.
people's social security numbers and date of births and personal information, and you have to be really prudent with that. So I appreciate that you're taking a very responsible position on AI. I think this is important for us to be talking about is how is it impacting every industry and every business. So thank you for sharing a little bit about your AI experience now. What would be one tip that you would give any entrepreneur in their first 3 years of business?
So first of all, do your research on what you want to do and who's your target market. And second, make sure that you do get some help drafting that business plans and divorcing your finances. So make sure that that is part of what they're gonna teach you as doing your business plans. Like where is your funding coming from, your
Yeah.
financial projection. So I think definitely get some counseling, get some classes before you even. One thing that a lot of entrepreneurs do is that they're coming from a W-2 job and
Hmm.
they want to become an entrepreneur and they just quit. Do not quit your job. Like
Yeah.
until you feel that your business is in the right place and that's what you want to do. If you gotta cut the hours, that's great. But quitting 100%, your business is not gonna bring you through like right away. That's one challenge, no matter what business you go into, unless you already have something set up and you're taking over. And even then, you never know. So do your planning, do your business plans, educate yourself, and then go full force.
I love it. You are a full force kind of gal, aren't you?
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Your logo speaks it all. You're the goddess of war. You are amazing. And I'm so grateful that you are in our community doing this work. Thank you for serving our Hispanic community. Thank you for doing the work that you're doing in financial planning. And thank you for being an entrepreneur and doing this work, man. It is tough. It's hard work, but I know you're cut out for it. So, way
Thank
to
you.
go. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All right, my friends. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. And just always remember, shop local, be intentional about where you're choosing to spend your money. So thank you so much. See you next time.